G'day guys, John here, Chief Instructor with FPV Australia. Been a little while since I've posted a bit of an update on what's happening in the industry, and there still seems to be a fair bit of confusion around about who can do what, where and how, and maybe there's a whole bunch of newcomers to the industry now that are new on the scene and quite aren't up to speed with what's happened over the last sort of year or so. So a lot sort of has happened. So I'll just quickly run through them. I won't go into major detail, but I'll give you instructions on where you can find information. So first and foremost, we still have a couple of different categories that you are allowed to fly drones in. Obviously the recreational pilot, and the recreational pilot is someone who wants to go and have a drone in the air for fun. That is no licensing requirements. He's flying it or she's flying it purely for the fun and the hobby of flying it. Again, I will touch on the differences between rec and commercial in a minute. Then there is the sub 2 kilo or excluded category operator. They're still allowed to operate. You need to register with CASA to get an ARN. You then need to obviously register your intent to fly in the excluded category and fill in all those details. Wait your 5 days till you get notice from CASA to proceed, and away you go. That allows you to fly your machine weighing less than 2 kilos under the standard operating conditions. Now, if you're not sure what those standard operating conditions are, jump on the CASA website, casa.gov.au, casa.gov.au, go to the drone section and you'll find information about flying aircraft under 2 kilos commercially. There is a strict set of rules that you need to abide by, and it keeps you away from things like towered airfields, restricted airspace, all of that stuff, within 30 metres of people, not overpopulated areas, all that stuff. Go and have a look at the standard operating conditions. You'll find them on the casa.gov.au website. There is also an application aimed directly at you, produced in consultation with the regulator, called Can I Fly There? It's on iOS and Android, and you can get it online as well. Again, you can also find that on the CASA website. Information on that's called Can I Fly There? That app tells you, as an excluded operator, sub 2 kilo, non-licensed commercial operator, where you can and can't fly in a nice visual representation. Go check that out. It's also good for the rec pilot too, if you want to see what's around you. Then on top of that, we've got the licensed operator still, the REOC and REPL holder. The REPL holder being the pilot, remote pilot's license, and the REOC holder being the company or the individual or the organisation that runs the operation for the drones. That still stands, that hasn't changed. The categories are slightly different. They've shifted a little bit over the last recent sort of times. Instead of being 0 to 7 kilo, 7 kilo to 20 kilo, and then so on and so forth, it's changed to 0 to 7 kilo, but then 7 kilo to 25 kilo. So if you've got an old controller certificate that's limited to 20 kilo, it's no different to the remote pilot's license that might limit you to 25 kilo, only if you do want to clip that 20 kilo mark and go to 25, you best contact the regulator and get that underway, because your controller certificate says sub 20. The Can I Fly Here, or Can I Fly There app does not relate to you as the licensed operator and the REPL holder who's operating under a REOC. You still continue to operate under the conditions bound in your REOC and use resources like OzRunways and VNC maps and VTC maps and all that sort of stuff that you have been doing since the get-go. Nothing has changed for you. There was a direction handed down a little while ago that talked about clarifying certain things, and I won't go into all the details here, but again, it clarified the populous rule, it clarified the 30 metre rule and the 15 metre rule, it clarified a number of things. If you want to find that, you can also find it on the casa.gov.au website. Go down in the drone section, down the bottom in the fine print, you'll see it. REOC holders are now, and have been for a while, able to fly at night. If you're still on an old REOC where you don't have night ops in your REOC and you want to fly at night, let us know, give us a yell. If you're one of our students, previous students, we help you out anyway. We'll redo all your manuals to get you in the latest template. As well as the 15 metre reduced distances. All the new REOC holders get all that by default. So if you don't have them, you're running on an old manual template set, give us a yell, especially if you're one of our students. There is no charge to you if you're one of our students to bring you into the new manual set and get all those night ops and everything put in. So that's sort of what's been happening. There is the Manual of Standards that has been released for a few weeks now. Today is getting towards the middle of October 2018. The Manual of Standards draft version is out for consultation. If you haven't seen it or you don't know what it is, again, Google it and jump on the CASA website and have a look at the draft version of the Manual of Standards. It has a whole bunch of stuff in there. A lot of it is aimed at the training requirements moving forward in the drone industry. I'm a training organisation, so I've got great interest in this space. Some of it I agree with, and some of it I don't, and I guess that's natural. We're not all going to agree on the same terms every time. But what I will encourage you to do is go and read it, and if you feel so, make comment. The good thing about this whole process is the regulator has put this manual of standards out for our consultation. You, me, and everyone else in the industry to actually have a say. So if you don't have a say and things roll into place that you're not happy with, I guess there's no one to blame but yourself, because you didn't get on and state your case. So that's a good thing. They've allowed us all to have a voice. So go and do that, jump online, have a read of the Manual of Standards draft, and if there's something you don't like in it or something you really do like in it and you agree strongly, then put in a response so that the regulator knows where you stand on the matter. So that's come out, which is pretty cool. It's in draft, as I said. It's not in place yet. It's out for consultation, so go and have a look at that. What else has been happening? I guess lots of noise about what you can and can't do in relation to your drone. Again, nothing has changed in the difference between a rec pilot and a commercial pilot. And the difference there is money doesn't have to change hands. It's purely what you're doing with it. If it's recreational sport, purely for the fun of flying it, you do not need to be licensed. If it's for any sort of commercial operation, whether it's filming your mate's wedding, and you know you're gonna give it to him, or you're filming your mate's business because he runs a cement company and you want to film his trucks pouring concrete, but he's not giving any cash for it, it doesn't matter. That's deemed a commercial operation. So if you're using a sub 2 kilo machine, it might be worth you jumping on and getting put into the excluded category so you can actually do it legally. The Senate inquiry handed down its findings and its report. They're also available if you Google them. I won't go into all the detail here, but there was certainly some eyebrow raising in that report. A lot of stuff was expected, but there was some stuff in there that we sort of went, wow, okay, cool. So go and have a look at that as well. Other than that, nothing much has changed in the last sort of 12 to 24 months. Just some furry bits around the edges got polished out. So the direction that cleared up a whole bunch of stuff. The draft manual's out now, I guess, for the Manual of Standards. CASA released a statement saying that they've extended the sub 2 kilo operations. So it had been 2 years, I think, since they started, and so they've extended that out again so you can continue to operate in the sub 2 kilo category. All that sort of stuff. So other than that, we're still rolling. DJI releasing drones every 6 months, so that's pretty cool. The licensing requirement hasn't changed. It's still the remote pilot's license. We still run our 5-day courses. The Manual of Standards talks about minimum times in classrooms, which is great. Have a look at that. Look, if you've got any other questions, something I haven't touched on here, please feel free to contact us. You can get me at john@fpvaustralia.com.au. You can jump on our website, fpvaustralia.com.au, or you can give our office a call, which is 1300 FPV Oz. It's down there on the bottom of the screen for you. Other than that, fire me an email if you've got any questions. I hope this has helped you realise that we're still sort of in the same position. Not a lot has changed. If you're new to the industry, do all the research you can to find out exactly what you can and can't do with your drone. It is vitally important you do that. We need to make sure everybody's doing things safely. There was a report put out recently of what happens when a drone hits a plane wing. We all knew what the response would be, what the reaction would be from the wing of the plane itself once the drone hit it. It was nothing new, but it was good to see. And of course, the haters are out there saying, oh, the test wasn't good, and anyway. Yeah, okay, so we won't go into that argument. Anyway, send me an email if you've got any questions. I hope if you are flying a drone today, tomorrow, next week, or next month, you do so safely and responsibly. I say it always, but we do need safe skies for all. Enjoy.